Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out and thank the powers above for a nice morning again and no water this morning. It's okay if it rains later. We were just hoping it didn't rain this morning. My name is Adam Latta. I am the Assistant District Governor for Area 11 for Rotary. I'll be your Master of Ceremonies this morning. And I'd like to again thank everybody for coming out this morning to what we believe is a very, very important celebration and presentation. But I'd like to start with an opening prayer. I'd like to call up a 50-year Rotarian, our own McAllen, Reverend Max Grubbs. Max?
Will you join me, please? Dear God, our heavenly and gracious Creator, we come to you this day as a time of giving thanks. We thank you for this gathering of people who celebrate all of those who have been of service, for those who have exemplified service to the community through membership in Rotary and have promoted the ideal of service above self, for those who have given service through the time in the armed forces as they served and benefited all the people of the world, and especially for those who are memorialized for this service and the ultimate sacrificial gifts of their lives. We especially take time today to give thanks to you for the gift of life of Colonel Frank Plummer, for his years of service to his country and for his outstanding efforts to make this memorial become a reality, that veterans may continue to be honored as well as remembered in the future. We thank you for all that has been given to all of us in the past, and we thank you for all that is yet to come. We give our thanks and our continuing praise as we pray, as always, in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. If you could help me by rising as we present the colors by the McAllen Fire Department Color Guard.
Colors. Oh. Freeze it. Off.
Okay, and if you could, I'd like to call on past President Brad Benter to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
If you could also remain standing as that very talented Stephen Lopez sings the national anthem for us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air. The night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Art. Art.
Okay, thank you. Now I'd like to call up our mayor for the city of McAllen for an official welcome. Mayor Darling.
Thank you, and welcome to this wonderful place that we have here in McAllen. So I'd like to thank our color guard from our fire department. They do such a fantastic job at so many events that we have, and very proud to have them. And great representative of our city. I also like to thank the city workers. You know, the colonel asked us to do quite a few events out here, and our parks and recreation guys come out and set up, and you don't see them very often. You don't see, they get here before you do and leave after you do, and so we really appreciate all the work that we have from them too. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests from Rotary International. We're very pleased to have you here in our community. We're very proud of all the things and pleased at all the things that our Rotary clubs do in our community. They certainly their contributions are very noticeable, and we're very glad to have them. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome our veterans here today, and thank you for your service. You know, I'm supposed to say something nice about Colonel Plummer, and I was sitting next to him when Stephen was singing, and I realized one thing: he had one flaw. I only never heard a flaw before, but you don't sing it very well, Colonel. That's all I just said. So, I think we should let Stephen do that and just salute. But when Colonel Plummer, I don't know how many years ago it was, but I was city attorney when Colonel Plummer first came, and I was in the service, but I was only a sergeant, and he was a colonel, and he established that fact right away, and told me to write up the contract for this, and so I've been working with the colonel ever since, and it really is, watching him do that, realize what a labor of love it is. And I thought about this too. I asked him, I said, well, you know, we have the different areas for the different service, and of course, he was in World War II, so we have that one. And then we did the Korean one, and of course, Colonel served in Korea. And back then, you didn't have tours of duty. You just stayed there until the job got done. And then he didn't get enough of that, so he went to Vietnam. And not only did he go to Vietnam for one tour of duty, but went back for a second. And so I said, well, okay, we got 3 of the things you were in built, and what's the 4th one going to do? And he said, well, he was done with all that. He's just going to build all the rest of them for the rest of us. But he's he's quite a guy. He had me about 2 or 3 months ago climb up this. We went into a little hole there, and he said, "I got to show you this." And so he was at the bottom talking, and I was about halfway up. And I looked down and I thought, gee whiz, that's a long way down and there's nothing there. And he kept talking to me and he was kind of breaking my concentration because I was really trying to do that. And of course I couldn't tell the colonel to shut up. So I crawled down. But he told me on the way up, he goes up there all the time. So I recognize that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, in your lifetime, you only get to meet a few John Waynes. And I've gotten to meet two. One is Otho Brand and the other is Colonel Plummer. And so my life's been enriched because of that. And so I can't see any person that doesn't deserve what is going to happen later on. And so I'm very happy to be here, Colonel, and share this moment with you. And I'm sure you all too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to introduce somebody that's very important to not only this memorial. I had to tell you a story. There was we attended an event where the colonel was dedicating part of the memorial, and we went to breakfast, and Easy back there taking the pictures, he said, "You guys ought to put something together and raise some money." And Betty was a little bit familiar, but not really, with how the grant process worked with Rotary. And I think the deadline was like 2 days away for submitting the application. And I remember she said, "We can do it." You know, Betty, you know, everything's possible. She said, "We can do this." And she spent the night writing the grant. We were chasing down presidents in parking lots to get signatures. I think, Brad, you were part of that. And as a result, we were able to do the funding here in the front of the Guardian walls here, and that's how that grant came to be. It was about 2 days before the deadline, and she was able to put that together. And she has a very special place for this this memorial and the work that's been done out here. So I'd like to call up Betty Ramirez Lara, our district grants chair now, this past year, and she's going to tell us a little history about how the War Memorial came to be and some of the work that was put into it. Betty?
The Veterans War Memorial of Texas. In 1988, a group of veterans gathered and accepted a design of the Veterans War Memorial. This memorial would honor and remember the approximate 1.3 million military American men and women killed in all the wars and conflicts of the United States. The design, drawn by Colonel Frank Plummer, was presented to the city of McAllen. 5 acres were awarded by the city to the project. The next 8 years were delegated to establishing a long-range marketing plan and visiting Rio Grande Valley military organizations, towns, and cities, and talk with business leaders. The first site, World War II, was built and dedicated in 1999-2000. This was followed by completion of the Korean, Vietnam, all war sites in the centrally located towering black granite American Spire of Honor. The last section is the open space that will hold the Children's and Ceremony site. Granite walls will hold stories written by children and public ceremonies. Seating will occupy the remaining area. Construction on this site is scheduled to begin in 2016 as money becomes available. The memorial is envisioned as an outdoor schoolroom. Its walls of history, statues, plaques, and flagpoles portray a story of the struggles, courage, patriotism, and sacrifices of the American people to fight a tyrant king, build and protect a nation of the people, the United States of America. The American Spire of Honor will be surrounded by a building that will house historical stories about the American people and their love of liberty. The spire will rise through the top of the building. The building's dome will be a 25-foot glass star glowing green at night. The spire will protrude above the building through the glass star. The stainless steel cap of the spire reflects sunlight during the day. The Veterans War Memorial has been visited by hundreds of school children and visitors from all over the world, and it will stand for centuries as a beacon of information and hope for all who yearn to live as free people. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce to you our District Governor of 5930, Art Seidler.
Thank you, Betty. It's a delight to be here and a delight to have an opportunity to participate in these proceedings. I want to thank our Rotary Committee and those with the City of McAllen that were involved with putting this together, Adam and Betty and all the others that worked on this project, and the mayor and obviously the city employees and city administrators and everybody else is involved. I want to introduce several people up here on the up here in the front. Many of you know my wife Carol, and from North Carolina, Sally McLaren, the wife of our visiting representative. You know Betty. I'm also very delighted to introduce you to Bill McLaren, past district governor from North Carolina. Bill is in South Texas this weekend as the official representative of Rotary International President Gary Wong, and he will be the keynote speaker at the luncheon in Edinburgh today at noon, and then the luncheon in Corpus Christi tomorrow as our convention continues. And we look forward to his message as the official representative of Rotary International at our district conference. And I thought it was a very fitting way to start our district conference as we look forward in Rotary, look forward to what we will be doing and celebrating what we've done this year, but also to take a moment to reflect on how and why we are able to do that in peace and in safety. And I think we can see why we can do so. The men and women who sacrificed their time and in some cases their lives so that we would have time to do what we want to do as a free America. This is an opportunity to recognize one of those heroes who have done so much for us. Colonel Frank Plummer was born in Colgate, Oklahoma. He entered the Army as a private during World War II in 1943. He served as a first lieutenant in the Pacific during World War II. Following college, he served the next 32 years in the Army in Germany, Norway, Italy, Japan, and the United States. He also served in Korea and, as we heard, 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. He retired in 1975. Among the recognitions that he has previously received are the following: the Silver Star, the Purple Heart, 3 Legions of Merit, the Bronze Star with Valor, 7 Crosses of Gallantry, 8 Air Medals, and others. He and his wife Kathy have 3 children. He's retired to McAllen in 1975, but as you've heard, he never really retired. He worked in real estate, and since 1988, he's been working on the designing and building of this Veterans War Memorial, Texas. This nationwide project, built on the concept of an outdoor schoolroom, honors the approximately 1.4 million men and women killed all the wars and conflicts of the United States. Well, how did that come about? Well, obviously a lot of people were involved. But like in many situations, it takes one person to really make it happen and to cause others to make it happen. Our Rotary President, Gary Wong, introduced us to a poem this year. Gary's from Taiwan. from Ashish Ram. And I'd like to read this to you in thinking in terms of the power of one. One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake a dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clasp lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. And in this case, it was up to Colonel Frank Plummer to cause this to start and to occur. He had the vision, and he was able as one person to cause others to adopt that vision. He had the grit and the fortitude to stick with it, to get it done, and others to join him. He will be the first to tell you that yes, there was a committee, and of course there always has to be many others to help. And no one can underestimate the importance of the city of McAllen and its governmental officials and taxpayers and others who supported this. But it took somebody, the spark, that one, to make that happen. And that is why it is with great honor that on behalf of Rotary District 5930, the 1950 Rotarians in our 55 clubs, that we are here today to present to Colonel Frank Plummer the Outstanding Community Service Award from our district. This award, on the award, says, for outstanding service related to the preservation of the legacy of our nation's veterans. I would ask Official Representative Bill McLaurin to join me to make this presentation to Colonel Plummer. Colonel, will you please join us? This is from Rotary International District 5930 for Outstanding Community Service Award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and well, please, I didn't really know about this till 4 days ago. So it was kind of a shock when somebody's going to do something like this. I want to set the record straight, though, about the mayor. He said that I came in, I played the colonel. Have you ever seen a grown man walk in with his hand in his pocket like this and said, I need help? I even managed to get out a little tear, dropped it down the water. Well, he said, sit down, sit down. A young man, I loved that guy ever since. He said, sit down, I'll help you. So he came up with a contract that allowed us to have his land. And then he's talking about climbing in here. Well, he did. But why did I stay on the bottom? I wanted to catch him. You know, have the mayor die on the job out here, think what it's going to do. I'm not worried about him, but think what it's going to be for the reputation out here. You know, truly, the mayor has been a lifesaver to all of us. Secondly, I heard these words, I didn't recognize myself, because, you know, it just like takes a village. It takes everyone to be something and go like here. So we have an idea. I see two members like George Gonzalez over there and Homer Gregos were original members. Bob Treadlaw was the original members. We have people out here that are working on this all the time. It just doesn't happen. You can have, oh, I want to go downtown and buy a dress, but unless the dresses are there and everything is there, it doesn't work that way. So we have members here. I see Dr. Chopper, Jim Putney, and even Janie Cross. I saw her a minute ago. And the Rotary. We've had so many members here that have helped us. We have a guy sitting over here. He was. These two people over here, that's Beto Rodriguez. He's been with us from the start. Eddie Callahan has been with us since 1953. It's been back here. Easy Laura, I saw you a while ago. Are you out there? This guy over here is the one that made your program. Beautiful job. Give him a hand here. He is a designer par excellence. And then Sunday, he's made the programs for us. But I look around, I can't possibly call all the names that have helped us here that's sitting out here today. I see Knapp here and Mary Lou. They both have worked full time to help us. This just doesn't happen. It's taken a city, it's taken the Rio Grande community, and all of the state of Texas. It just doesn't happen. So I hope you know that, yes, I had a little hand in working on this, but it really doesn't work that way, and I hope you understand that. We've raised over $2 million so far and spent out here. The city of McAllen gave us this beautiful land. It's 5 acres next to the convention center, and today it's invaluable. I see Commissioner Ingram. He has been in our corner just as Jim has and the commission has from start. So I hope you all realize that this is not my day. This is really, I've heard other people say this, but it's everyone that made this thing possible. Without everybody that's helped us, it would not have been here. So I was a little surprised when they were awarding me this when I found out 4 days ago. As I was telling everybody that the district governor was coming and that we wanted to welcome him. And that's what we set up for until about, 4 days ago. So now I am so pleased. You cannot believe this is quite a recognition. But as they say on television at these great big things, when they're gushing about things, this really goes to everybody, especially our committee here that made it possible. All of you have made this possible. So I want to accept this on your behalf, and especially Betty, you, and the buddy here is Adam, have made all this work up here. You see these, we call these guardian walls. We have names on that. That was given to us by the Rotary Clubs of McAllen and the district. They made it possible we get enter names here for the future. Now what we want to have here is not a regular memorial. It was designed on a schoolroom. Ms. DeStagio may know what we're talking about, Hilda. But it's built on a schoolroom concept. The kids come out here with their teachers, and we've watched them, and they teach from these walls. We have a permanent history. It's not going to be changed by books or political persuasion later on. It's there. It's for you to see. We know the foundation of this nation is not built on concrete like we have here or bricks. It's built on 2 simple words, freedom and liberty. Truthfully, stop and think about it. How you have a giant nation like we have built on something that can give very easily. The words are the bound foundation of this nation. They must be strengthened. The one way to do this is patriotism. And this patriotism that we have can be learned and fulfilled from these walls. They're bringing forth the stories of our struggles of our forefathers. And so these walls are here, and the names on there stand as guardians for all times. Imagine right now, 240 years ago, the first shots of the Revolutionary War were fired on the 19th of April, coming around the corner. Now we're here 240 years now. What is our nation going to look like 100 years from now? It's going forward so rapidly. This will be here. If it's here, it means we're still a democracy. As soon as the democracy fails, this goes. It's one of the first things torn down. So we're making it now so that our children's children, our future leaders, will have something out here that they can come back and point to and say, oh, my forefathers, yeah, they did this, huh? So we're finishing up. We're going to invite you. Adam told me to tell you about Sunday. We're going to have another dedication out here for the Daughters of the American Revolution. They have provided what we call the Plaza of Liberty. It's a beautiful little place over here. You walk by and look at it. The main character is Patrick Henry. We have a statue by the guy in the middle right here named Douglas Clark. It looks like he's about half asleep. Natural. But Douglas Clark has put these statues you see out there. Patrick Henry was a true American hero. He came up here and got before a bunch of people in Virginia, delegates, and said, hey, give me death or give me liberty, in a very dramatic speech. I mean, he was beautiful, supposedly by all historians. But he convinced the Virginians to start a militia. 28 days later, we started the revolution, and that's where we are today. And we want to keep those stories alive for our children and their children. But visualize you being here or not being here in 100 years from today. This will be standing here, what we have right here. It'll carry our message, your message, to the future. So anyway, this was all of our dreams, all the committee we've had changed them over the period of time. But we want to thank you very much on behalf of everybody that's made this possible. Thank you very much.
And I had to call the Colonel and apologize. Yes, this is a presentation for you, Colonel, because those of us that know him, we couldn't have told him this from the beginning. He would have never agreed to none of this. He would have never agreed, so we had to kind of sneak up on him. But the other strategy here, Colonel, as you know, that we're working on trying to put those final dollars together and through some partners on that building. We think it's very, very important that we have that educational building funded, and hopefully we were hoping to have an announcement, but we might have it very soon. So thank you. Thank you for all of your dedication and work. I'd like to call Stephen Lopez again and a presentation of the American Soldier.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone, up and at 'em bright and early, I'm all business in my suit, yeah, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots, I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. And I can't call in sick on Mondays when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays, and sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Yeah, I'm solid, yeah, I'm steady, yeah, I'm true down to the core. And I will always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asked of me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I'll always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American soldier. Yeah, an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I'll always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American an American
Wow, thank you, Stephen. Now, if you could join me by rising as we retire the colors.
Colors. Oh. Retreat. Colors. Recall. Freeze it. Off. Port. Off.